I've personally started doing. Last time, a couple weeks ago, we had Worlds of Chaos on here. Really cool guy, massive Destiny 2 charity streamer. Um, he does a lot of stuff for mental health awareness and suicide prevention. So really cool guy. But tonight we got a cooler guy. We got Janko, the man, the myth, the living the dream legend.
Ooh, man. I don't know if I can live up to all that.
Well, I mean, dude, like you and I have known. Well, we've known each other through streaming like since I started, pretty much. And you're like the Mr. Miyagi to my Danny Russo.
Man, I don't know. Man, that's a lot to live up to, dude.
Hey, man,
I don't have any chopsticks, and I don't even own a gi anymore. So,
well, dude, all I'll say is you gave me some pretty helpful tips starting out. So that's really cool to have you as a compadre. But
I appreciate that, man.
hey, no biggie.
I think we all learn from each other, and I honestly truly do believe that, like, I don't want to say that it's just about positivity and blowing smoke up people's asses or anything like that, but I do think that what you put out comes back. So I just hope everybody is cool to everybody and helps out everybody, because as soon as anybody doesn't help out other people, then everybody else gets screwed. So
yeah, man, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. So since I'm over here blowing smoke up your ass,
sweet.
Why don't you tell those at home a little bit about yourself, about your content, who you are, what time of day you go to the bathroom, that kind of thing.
Fair enough. Well, I started on Twitch about almost 2.5 years. Well, 2 years and 3 months or so ago, July of 2017. And other than that, I'm old as hell. I almost feel like I'm close to aging out on the platform. I just turned 45 this year, so I'm like a generation, like first generation gamer, right back when games started. But other than that, I just kind of live for conversations, discussions, stuff like that. So
nice, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's all good. It's all good stuff. But yeah, so
Oh, and I pee as soon as I get up. So and then I generally pee about every hour and a half after that. I drink a ton of Diet Coke, so I'm constantly pissing.
That sounds about right. I pretty much, my life fuel is iced tea. So I rarely ever drink it on stream, which I think is really weird. But iced tea, that it just goes right through you. It's just pompous water. But
it is.
It's
like caffeine water. So the water fills you up to begin with, and then the caffeine is a diuretic, which just makes it want to run right back out.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. But yeah, so I mean, real short to the point. What have you been doing in Destiny lately? Because I mean, I'm recently moved to PC, and I haven't really spoken to you much. So kind of curious what's going on over on the PlayStation side. What have you and the crew been up to?
Yeah, since our first attempt at the contest modifier for the raid, I don't think we've hung out and talked too much.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh.
That was. No, it was an interesting experience for sure.
Yeah, that was a fun time. That contest mod was fun.
It was crazy. I kind of wish we could turn it back on. Like I still don't have a clear.
That's a problem.
Well, yeah, it's just, man, trying to coordinate 7 people or 5 other people, or 6 other. How many? There's 6. Okay, sorry, I'm so confused.
You're good, dude.
Getting 5 other people can be kind of a pain in the ass when you're working a full-time job and people have kids and all of this other stuff, right? I don't think any of us really have nobody I know personally has the privilege of being a full-time gamer, where they can just be online all day and have this open schedule. But really, it's kind of been for the best, because we've had opportunities to raid, and I've kind of not really wanted to. There's so much to do right now that I just constantly feel almost overwhelmed every time I log in. I'm like, wait, I want to grind this grenade launcher. Oh, wait, I can't, thank God, because, Insanity isn't the nightmare this week. So cool, I can do Gall and try to get a shotgun, or I can just grind out some bounties, or, this or that. And then the dungeon launched last week. It's so much every week, and Iron Banner was just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or whatever, and then that's back this week. So it's just been crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Iron Banner, that second Iron Banner crept up on me like real quick. I remember I was in my new clan's chat and we were talking, and I think the TWAB came out and they were like, hey, Iron Banner's back. And we all kind of like, at the same time, we're like, oh, already? Like, already? It feels like we've had so much to do recently that like this entire season is just blown right by us. And
it has.
It's crazy.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's crazy to me. Like usually, like especially with like Season of Opulence and even like Season of the Drifter, even like Base Forsaken, it felt like, you know, it felt like the seasons were so much longer and so much more drawn out. But recently, it's like we're already over the halfway point. Like,
yeah, I mean, we've got. Hold on, I'm looking at it right now. Oops, I went too far. Yeah. We've got 32 days left.
We have 32 days. I looked at that last night, and it made me go. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like Forsaken had this really cool, I think, probably 2 solid months of just the rotation of the curse and figuring new things out and all of that. And then the Forges kind of hit with like this feeling. I love the Forges. And for the first 2 months of that season, that's all I did. I mean, I ran 250 Forges, I think, by the time I quit Destiny in January-ish, because I was so frustrated with a few things. And then I didn't play any at all through Drifter or Opulence until the last month of Opulence. Then that's when I popped back in.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing you kind of just like show back up, which I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, welcome back. You know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I swore it off. I didn't even know if I was going to play Shadowkeep.
Mm-hmm.
And then Johnny got back into it, Johnny Boom.
Yeah.
And he was telling me he was having a lot of fun with it. And so I think it wasn't even on stream. I just logged in one day to kind of mess around with him. And I was like, man, this is kind of cool. Holy shit, there's a lot to do. And then I ran a menagerie. And I was like, man, this is like the Forges on crack. It's like everything I loved about the Forges, but even more. But then there was like this insane grind behind the chalice and everything underneath that. And so I was like, man, this is pretty cool. So I kind of just dove right back in, and it didn't hurt that, you know, Division was sucking grandma's belief
kind of
at the time.
Place.
So yeah, it's not even a weird place. It's in a grave right now. So it's just waiting for the dirt.
But yeah, like that was really cool seeing you come back to it. That was definitely really cool seeing you come back. And, you know, circling back to the fact the season's going by so quickly, like, we have, you know, we got the Nightmare Hunts, we have the Raid, we have, you know, Vex Offensive, all of the Eris weapons that you can grind out. Now we have Altar of Sorrow, the new dungeon, like, there's so much to do.
It's insane. I got into a massively huge Twitter argument yesterday.
Dude, I love those.
And it was. And like somebody was like, oh, the devs, I wish the devs could go back to being not lazy the way they were during Division or Destiny 1. And I was like, wait, hold your bleep, because I don't know what the hell you mean right now. Like, Destiny 2 has so much more content, objectively speaking. Taking out whether you had more fun doing something in Destiny 1 versus doing it in Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has objectively so much more content. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I see I don't know how to say his name, Thevi. In your chat, you know, it says, you know, once we get past this season, it's definitely going to slow down, and it will. And I think it'll be interesting to see what activity they give us next month. Hopefully, it's a little bit more deep than Vex Offensive is, because if that's all we're getting, it better be something that's going to really, really hold us.
Yeah. I agree to that, because, I mean, you know, I think I've even spoken to it on Twitter, and of course, you know, my opinions are my own with that. I'm not here to, like, tell anyone, like, if you like something, you like it. Cool, that's awesome, but the Vex Offensive, for me, honestly, has been kind of a snooze fest, and I like it for the guns, I like it for the amount of, like, how rewarding it is when it comes to the weapons and all that sort of thing, but I would have probably liked to see more rotating bosses weekly or something like that. But other than that, I mean, it's a cool little just blow off some steam, try out new weapons, try out new builds activity, which is nice. Because, you know, you got unstoppables, or not unstoppables, you have overloads, you have anti-barrier champions in it. There's a little bit of a mix of everything that gives you the chance to kind of mess around with builds.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, I do think the first couple times I jumped in, I was like, man, this is dope. And I think we were all hoping for that rotation of bosses that you brought up that were in, you know, Escalation Protocol and then, you know, in the Blind Well and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
Your cat joined you. My dog decided to join me. So,
my cat's like attacking me right now.
Yeah, my dog is completely petrified of my stream area, but then she also, Glow just left for work, so she's completely like just cuddly right now. So
my cat just did something that she has never done before, and she just jumped straight up onto the desk. Usually she jumps right up onto my lap, but this time she came right onto the desk.
Wow.
Oh, you're getting daring, aren't you, baby? It's okay,
no, that would drive me crazy.
Oh, typically I have the door shut, but I'm the only one home today, and she's back. I might have to give her something real quick. But anyways, and then Vile says I could definitely use a little less to do. Like, I was like, I don't know if that's like, I mean, that is like, you know, a good thing and a bad thing. You know, like,
yeah, I mean, it almost, depending on what we see in the next season, I think it's gonna be interesting to see just how much we get, because I think we might look back on Shadowkeep and be like, man, maybe they could have held off altars.
Yeah,
you know, until the next season, or, you know, maybe not the Lector, because the Lector and Eris, like, that all plays together, but
yeah, man, like that story was connected.
Like, like the dungeon or something else.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could have held something back, but I don't know. We'll see what we get with the next season. I'm really super curious to see. I have a prediction, and I don't want to take over too much on this, but my prediction and what I'm hoping, I shouldn't say it's a prediction, but what I'm hoping they'll do is revisit the original Mercury Forge and have all of those weapons available with random rolls now.
That's actually, I was thinking something along the lines of that, because lore implications, you know, based on the lore from the raid and based on what we know from Curse of Osiris, you know, it's very possible that once Ikora turns that Vex portal on that she's building, you know, our boy Saint 14 is going to walk right through it. That was my theory. You know,
that would be interesting.
Because of the perfect paradox and because of the lore from Garden, which basically confirmed that the Infinite Forest and the Garden are connected to one another.
Sure.
So, you know, they're all part of the same Vex network type of deal. So, you know, Saint 14 could have went into the Infinite Forest and came out through the Black Garden, you know, and vice versa.
Does that... Okay, so I'm not that huge of a lore guy.
Of course.
So, like, I know the basics, and I watched Bife's 4-hour-long video, and, you know, I catch as much of his stuff as I can, but
yeah.
Isn't he literally, like, his actual physical self, like, dead?
Saint's body, when we found him in Curse, we found his dead body in in a possible future. So,
okay.
Essentially, we're starting to get into time travel, which is a little bit like wonky. So, basically, the lore goes is that at some point during the past, we're talking like right after the Golden Age, as the city started to grow, and Osiris was the vanguard for the Warlocks, and, you know, Andalbrask was the Hunter vanguard, like the original vanguard.
Right.
Saint, well, Osiris was excommunicated. He ended up, you know, leaving the tower. He went to Mercury to start investigating the Vex, learning more about them, because he had a prophecy that they would one day, you know, essentially end everything.
Okay.
So he went into the forest, and Saint 14 looked at Osiris as like he was essentially Osiris was essentially one of the cult members, like Brother Vance is. That's essentially how that went. So he went into the forest, and it's undisclosed how he did it, but he time traveled.
Okay.
Whether that was backwards or forwards is kind of not really known, but we just going off of where this is heading, like, let's assume that he went to the future, and there is a lore tab where he actually went to the future and he saw the tower. He saw what our Guardian had done, all of the heroics, all of the, like, all of the amazing things that we have done throughout the system, and what the tower would one day become. This huge city, this beacon, like, of hope for humanity, which was their original goal. And at the time he came from was pretty much just a camp, Okay. So he is so inspired by what he saw during that trip that he went back in time, and we gave him a shotgun. We gave him the perfect paradox. He went back in time to his time, right? Returned to the city, and then when he returned to the city, that's when the Battle of Six Fronts began, with the one where all of the city defenses were compromised by the Fallen, and there were the 6 Titans that held the line.
Okay.
One was Zavala, Lord Shaxx, Saladin, Saint 14. I think and then there were 2 more. They basically single-handedly each held each of the 6 breach points of the city. Okay. They won, obviously, but it was because of our Guardian's inspiration of inspiring Saint 14 that he was able to help save the city in his own time, and that's what caused him to become a legend.
Is this? I'm looking at the lore. Is that in the lore for? No, Perfect Paradox. That's not enough. Okay, it's just in the general lore then. So my question, I guess, and this is where we get into time travel and like the whole Terminator bullshit, bleep of everything. But so he goes forward. He sees the future. Could he not have just told the Bungie developers to not make the farm and to make Osiris better and deeper?
I mean, he technically could
done that at some point.
He technically could have. I guess. But
like, I kind of wish that would have been one of those possible Vex futures, right? Because it's just like random rolls. Like, just all he would have had to do was pop in. And it was really funny because when Destiny 2 first launched, I despised random rolls, and because I hated them in Destiny 1. I hated the complete random of running the same strike fudge on the goal.
It was terrible, man. I know exactly what you're talking about.
that damn pulse that I never got my god roll on. What was the Curse of Malak? Was that the name of
Malik or whatever, or Malik?
Yeah.
Malik or
whatever.
Whatever his name is.
That damn pulse. I think I still, in my vault in Destiny 1, I think I still have 4 or 5 of them.
Jeez.
And not one is a god roll. And I feel like I ran that strike 150, 200 times.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
And so I hated random rolls. And like I watch a lot of Saint Oda Rage and Lono's grind. I think it was 214 keys for his Imago loop. Like, it's just, I hated random rolls. So I was like, yes, I love this idea. And then the Vex guns came out, and I was like, man, this gun's super dope.
Yeah.
I wish I could grind for it again.
Yeah.
Because it was account wide. Like, once you unlocked them, you had them. Like, I couldn't even jump on my Warlock and run them if I wanted to. And then I was like, man, this is really boring. Like, this would be super cool to be able to get new rolls. And so it's just been one of my hopes that they go back to it. I was hoping it was going to happen in Shadowkeep, but I don't know.
But yeah, I 100% get that. I'm like, oh man. But yeah, like, so essentially, we hand him the shotgun. He goes back in time, fights using the shotgun. Then he returns to the Infinite Forest, looks for Osiris, can't find Osiris, ends up in a Vex future, absolutely single-handedly slaughters like over thousands and thousands of Vex until we find him again, and we find the broken shotgun, make the shotgun, hold on to it. He's gonna come to the future. We're gonna give it to him, and then the loop just continues.
So was he part of Osiris? Because they went into the Vault of Glass, right? He was one of the ones that went into the Vault of Glass originally, correct?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, because I'll be honest with you. Out of all of the lore, this is something that's really, like, for me when it comes to lore, I was pretty excited for Shadowkeep because it gave me an opportunity to learn a little more about it. I'm not a huge Vex lore guy. Anything to do with the Vex, I'm not really that knowledgeable of, other than like the most recent stuff, like the Saint 14, and all that, like the story of Kabir and the Venus researchers that went into the forest, and Pradith and all of them. Not really. I never really caught on to any of that from Destiny 1. So It's now coming back out, and we're now learning more about it because the Black Garden, of course. But right. I didn't really explore much more of that. But with the new Black Garden lore, it essentially confirms that, you know, you can time travel you can find a gateway in the Infinite Forest that'll throw you into the Black Garden. So that was major, because there's actually a bunch of researchers from the Golden Age that are trapped within the Vex network, and Pradith essentially figured out a way to free them, because he went into the Vault of Glass and disappeared into the Black Garden.
Oh, I thought Pradith was. I thought he was. Well, he was lost to time, wasn't he? Isn't that
essentially? That's what it was implied. He was lost in time, and he found a way out of the Vex network into the Black Garden, and then through the Infinite Forest. So we might be seeing some weird stuff happen next season. That's all timey-wimey.
It would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
If it is. As long as I don't have to go to Mercury, I'd be super happy.
Talk to Brother Vance for 5 hours.
Well, you know, I actually, when it first launched, I thought Mercury was a super cool place. I was always pissed that I couldn't get my Sparrow, and I was always like, when am I going to unlock it? Like, okay, when is the quest going to come that's going to let me finally, you know, because that always used to happen in Destiny 1, right?
Yeah.
You would go to the planet, and then you'd have to like relink up to the network to be able to summon your Sparrow and BS. And then that never happened. And now every time I have to step foot on Mercury, I just want to punch myself in the nethers, because it's awful getting around.
It's terrible.
But it was funny because the conversation that we had yesterday, right? I keep thinking of, and I remember all of this discussion over the summer with Bungie saying that, you know, as they roll out new content, right, they're running out of space. And so the new activities the seasonal activities that they bring in, they're going to have to rotate out. And there was a lot of talk of like, can't we just get rid of Mercury? Like, it serves no purpose in the game.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
It doesn't, because even the strikes, and especially now in hindsight with Ikora building the portal, even the strikes, we could just use the portal to get through into the Infinite Forest if we need to.
Exactly.
So, like, Mercury could just go away. Nobody would care, other than I would be bummed out at never being able to say stimulation seeds again. But the discussion that you and I had yesterday on, or was it today? I'm so tired.
Hey, man, it's all good. It's all good.
About the Dreaming City and the curse, about the curse being lifted, and I was like, well, if the curse is lifted, all of that content goes away. And I was like, man, what a perfect way to just get rid of it.
Yeah. And like, you know, with the, like, you know, transitioning from the conversation of content to the 999 Shattered Throne run, Bagel, dude literally just became the first Destiny player to technically become canon within the lore.
Yeah, I saw that. And it's kind of funny. I don't know if you ever heard my original idea after Cade died.
No, I don't think so.
I had this idea that, and it would have done what they just did with Bagel, which is why it brings it around. I thought that they should create, because we still don't have a new Hunter Vanguard.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many. Bungie does the same shit the same bleep that the Division does with its story, in that they never close anything. It's just like these constant cliffhangers and like story thread lines that are hanging, but then none of them actually get pulled. And I was like, how cool would it be if they designed a quest in game that was like just ridiculously hard, right? Like something so overpowered with such a ridiculous contest modifier that like no average player could do it.
Yeah.
But in order to do it, you had to take on the Vanguard Dare, and you had to agree that if you died in the service of this quest, you lost your character. It was permadeath. And then the first character that got through that quest, actually that player gets to meet with Bungie and the developers. They take that character's likeness, put him in the tower, have the player even record the lines if they want to or whatever for him.
Yeah. And
that player becomes the new Hunter Vanguard NPC in the tower from then on and gets immortalized in. How cool would that friggin' be?
That would be insane. That would be like absolutely crazy. And I think I've actually, now that you're mentioning it, I think you've actually told me that theory before, or not theory, but like that idea before. And I've always been about it. Like that would be like the number one thing to do for like community, like I don't like, and I know it's inevitable, but I don't like the idea of Aldrin becoming the Hunter Vanguard. And
you don't like the idea of becoming a Vanguard?
It's not that I don't like the idea. I'm very skeptical on it. I feel like for a story, it's going to be pretty good. But just when are they going to fit that in there? If that makes sense. That's my one thing. It's like, we have so much going on right now. We have Eris on the moon. We have Savathun still out there. We now have the Vex invading. We have this whole Vex subplot, the darkness. We have all these threads that are just kind of spiraling in different directions currently. We still have Callus out there doing his own thing. We never really got closure with that. He's just kind of chilling there until next convenient time to bring him in. I just don't really know, like, okay, so what are we doing with Aldrin and the Dreaming City and all that fun stuff? Where's this going to fit in? Unless they just wrap that up in, like, the next major expansion or whatever they do before D3.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what fixing the timeline is all about, right? Is finally drawing an end to some of these cliffhangers, and that would be what choosing a new Vanguard, a new Hunter Vanguard would do. It would finally kind of close that chapter and move on. Because you're right, there's so much going on. And then, like, did you see the cutscene last week?
Yes, I did, and I've got some thoughts. Me being the lore guy, I've got some thoughts on that. But continue, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, with that, they introduced yet another one of these things that they've never gone back to. Like, how long ago was it that we got Aldrin?
Yeah.
And the ghost, rezzing him, spoiler alert. And they haven't gone back to that. And there's all of these things going back to even vanilla Destiny 1, because even Osiris, he's like, yep, I'll see you guys later. And we don't hear bleep from him now for, another couple years. So.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. And it's like, with the whole Eris thing too, like, I don't know what to make of it. I think my theory right now, and we're probably not going to get, like you said, we're not going to get really confirmation on this for a while, but like, if we're talking just the theory of it, I think what Eris did, and there was, number one, we needed the Dreambane armor, right, to get through into the pyramid ship. Mm-hmm. Correct? So how did Eris just waltz right in there?
Who was it? I was watching somebody, and I would totally steal this as my idea. But it's not. I don't know if it was Fireteam Chad or if it was DCP or if it was the Rageless Roundtable. I don't know. It was one of the podcasts that I watch that basically said that the memories that we are collecting.
That's what I was going to say. I was thinking about
those little artifacts.
Yep, and that's the thing. And I don't know. I think it might have been the same podcast, but they were talking about how, like, why like her orb was, blocked off.
Yeah.
And one of those, and I think Han might be saying it. So you know how Ahamkara can grant wishes after death, right?
Yeah.
And that orb is an Ahamkara bone.
Right.
So we're thinking that the darkness, when she touched that statue, the darkness was actually trying to close off the Ahamkara from seeing what Eris saw.
Right.
Which I think that's literally all it is. But that's just my take. I think I heard that somewhere. I forget who said it. If I remembered, I would credit them, but I can't remember where I read it. But someone was talking about that being a possibility. But once again, like you said, we're probably not going to see the closure of that. Or I really am hoping we do see some closure on that before the season's out, before we kind of leave the moon for the Vex stuff. I
don't think we will. I think that's going to be a thread that's going till Destiny 3 or Destiny Universe or whatever the hell they decide to bring out, because it was kind of weird to me, even with like Garden. Like, we get the story of Shadowkeep, which I loved, and then we just get this random message of like, hey, the Vex are dicking around, let's go check it out. And it's like, wait, this doesn't really tie in with the nightmares or anything. Like, it doesn't tie in at all. And then the end of this season seems like it's going to end more Garden and the Vex issues than it's going to have anything to do with the nightmares. So I don't really think we're going to see any kind of climax to that story, I guess. Yeah, climax. Resolution. That's the word I was looking for. But then climax popped in my head, and then orgasm popped in my head. And I was like, oh, I gotta try to not be me. So,
so yeah, you haven't gotten to the end of the raid, correct?
I have. I just haven't beaten it.
Okay.
Like, I've fought the last boss, but no, I've seen what's after, because I've seen other people beat it, and I watched Unknown Player's video about it. But that was...
I was about to say, yeah, because I mean, it was, somewhat tied to it. The at least the pyramid was, But like, I just like to know how or why it's even there to begin with.
Are you talking about the statue?
No,
in the Black Garden?
No, the pyramid ship itself. Like, why is it even on the moon? Like, to begin with, because it's been there since before the Golden Age, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it, because the moon's a badass place to be, man. I love walking around the moon. It was my favorite. It was my favorite destination in Destiny 1 before the Dreadnought, and it's my favorite destination now in Destiny 2. So,
yeah, but
I mean, if I was gonna chill somewhere for a couple thousand years, that's where it would be.
I guess so. I mean, realistically, it's nice and quiet, other than the hive gunk just kind of moving around. But
yeah, and they don't seem all that interested in it.
They just built a giant castle over top of it to mask its nightmare essence.
Yeah. Wait, did the hive do that?
The hive did the Scarlet Keep. I believe it was during the mission with where you had to go into the Scarlet Keep. Okay. And it was essentially to discover its purpose, and its purpose is to actually act as a dampener for the nightmares. It doesn't affect the hive because of what the hive built within the keep. That's why the hive aren't plagued by the nightmares like we are.
Huh.
Yeah.
So how can there be hive nightmares then?
I
guess that would be our own head, right?
Like, yeah, the nightmares are something that are created through the darkness from our own guardians' trauma and experience.
That makes sense. Yeah, that kind of hit me as soon as I said it.
And then the point of altars is the hive are trying to siphon the darkness out of the nightmares to power Zulmak in the dungeon.
Oh, no shit.
That was the goal of altars. That's what altars serves as. So you know how we have to like stop the nightmares from getting from point A to point B? That's because, the hive are trying to guide that nightmare to this well that is going to power up Zulmak.
Okay, so I have a question for you, because you're a lore guy, and we were talking about it earlier, and even you had said that you hadn't gotten into it too much in Destiny 1, and I didn't, because of the whole Grimoire.
Yeah, that's why I didn't either.
From everything, like, it was like, oh, okay, I unlocked this Grimoire, but I'm playing the game and I'm having fun, I'll go read that later. And then I go to the Grimoire, and I've unlocked, 74,000 things, and I'm like, well, I don't have 17 days to read.
Yeah.
I'm going to just go back to playing the game. And so I missed a lot. Where did you get all that about the altars? Because like, I've obviously played it. I've gotten a few of the weapons. I've made it level 7 a couple of different times. And I don't know if it's just because when I'm streaming, I'm missing context or subcontext, I guess. But like, I didn't get any of that. Is that in lore of like the weapons or something?
I believe that is what Eris tells you when you go do the first step of that to open up the dungeon. And I forget what the lore book is, but it's on the moon. It's in those little like hive cryptoglyphs. It's the resurrection of the damned or something like that.
Interesting.
It kind of explains the whole like who Zulmak is, why they're trying to resurrect him, and all that crazy stuff. Like it doesn't really go too much further than that, but like even like the lore for the Hive this season is pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. Like for starters, we're learning more about Eris's fire team, which was something that I personally really wanted out of this.
Yeah.
Like the fact that now we know that. I mean, we know Toland is still around, and we know Omar Abgar.
Yeah, don't tell me anything from his ghost. I want to get it tonight.
It's not from his ghost. Not from his ghost.
I haven't gotten his ghost yet tonight, or yet. So
no, it's okay. No spoil. No, I mean, do you know the lore for Xenophage?
Yeah, with him bug,
like how thing. He is Xenophage.
Yes, yep.
That was the craziest thing to me, was seeing like, oh my god, he's still technically alive. Like,
yeah.
Granted, assuming the bug is actually alive.
Right. I was pretty. It was pretty cool because Bife's 4-hour-long video did a lot for me to show me how so many things are interconnected and have been from the beginning. And like I've always known that Destiny had this incredibly deep lore, but I never knew just how intricate it was.
Yeah.
And I just went back last Sunday with Pony Plays and Sir Beanbag and Mo and a couple of other people, and we did all of the Destiny 1 raids, and it was amazing to me. Like I had only done Crota, I think 3 times.
Yeah.
Before, and like going in there with what I know now about Destiny 2, it was so damn cool.
Yeah.
I highly suggest anybody watching, listening, whatever, go back and play the Destiny 1 raids again with the knowledge of what we know now. Man, it's cool as hell.
Yeah. I was actually going to tell you, if you guys ever want to do that again, hit me up. I would love to get back into some Destiny 1 raids. It has been so long, man. It has been so long. I think the only raids, I mean, I've done Kingsfall once. I've done Wrath of the Machine like 4 or 5 times. I've done Crota like too many times to count. And I don't think I've ever done Vault. I've never done Vault of Glass. You heard it here first.
I thought going into last Sunday, I remember because Destiny 1 came out, and I was I've always called myself a hardcore casual, or a casual hardcore, right? Like I like grinding, I like really, really deep stuff, but I don't have the time to be super hardcore, and so a lot of the grinds, like I'll never get Red Ricks because just honestly, I'm trying to bleep myself and censor myself slightly, but fuck that quest.
Yes, I highly agree. I did it last season, and it nearly drove me to the point of insanity.
Yeah, I have no interest in doing that much Crucible. And like season to season, the Gambit weapon or whatever, blah.
Yeah.
But like, so I've always considered myself that. So Destiny 1 came out, I had no interest. I didn't realize that it was the game that it was. I had a ton of fun shooting, aliens in the face and stuff, but I didn't know the whole like Forever 29 thing, even though technically I was, but I didn't realize it because I didn't know all of those kind of the way that the game worked really. And
exactly.
Then I quit playing because I didn't buy the season pass. I'm getting feedback, by the way. I'm hearing an echo of myself.
Let me adjust some things.
No worries.
Sorry about that.
No worries. It was kind of earlier. I could hear it here and there, but then now it really
is that better?
Up, so yeah, totally good.
Great.
But the oh wait, no, it's still there. Hello, hi Janko. Nice to meet you. There it goes. It's gone. But no, where was I at?
Yeah, hon.
I don't even know. Anyway, so like, yeah, I never played Dark Below, and I didn't play House of Wolves. and I got back into Taken King, and that's when I started doing raids. And so like I did King's Fall, I did Wrath of the Machine, and I knew I did them a bunch, but I didn't realize I only had 2 clears of Vault and I think 3 Crota, or backwards on that. I think 3 Vault and 2 Crota. It was like insane how much I didn't know about those fights, because then I was basically being carried when I did go through. So
yeah, I'm
totally down to do them again, man.
Heck yeah, man. So yeah, if your crew, because I honestly don't have a lot of people personally that still play D1, but I would love to give it a shot anytime. So anytime you guys want to, just hit me up. We'll do it. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, I definitely could. I know Imperium has really, really been chomping at the bit to go back and do Destiny 1 raids again. I know Jinkies was talking to, like, she was really, really interested in doing it. So I'm sure we could get it together. So we'll just have to try to plan it out.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll just have to plan it out. But yeah, so circling off of that to Iron Banner, have you done much of Iron Banner this time around?
The first time I was here, I did the quest. I did as many bounties as I could because they were bugged. So I was trying to blast through them as much as I could. This week, I got all 4 bounties. I've gotten 3 of them done. The grenade and ability one has pissed me off, and so I'm just not finishing it out of general spite.
Spite.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Like, you've got you need ability, super, and grenade kills. You need 200 of them. But then basic kills, like basic assist kills, you only need 100. So basic assisted kills, you're going to get, even an average to shit player is going to get, 5 to 15 kills per game?
Yeah.
Yet, unless you've got some insane, especially if you play Hunter, because Hunter, we can get our abilities back, but generally they take melee kills to do so, and our melee kills don't do that much damage, so we can't get close like, I don't know, Titans with their goddamn shoulder charge, and, it doesn't immediately refund itself. And, like, yeah, we can get 2 grenades with Shinobu's Vow and get a grenade back from dodging, but then, like, we have to wait for the rest of them. And then our grenades do so much less damage than any other class's grenades seem to.
Yeah.
So it just seems like hunters are humped in that bounty alone. And I spent, I don't know, a couple hours in, and I'm not even halfway done with it. So I'm like, I'm over it.
Just don't even do it.
Yeah, I mean, I want the +2 really, really bad now that Pinnacles have been fixed, but
yeah.
The Randy's quest has oh my god, irritated my butthole so bad on Crucible that I'm just done with Crucible for a while.
I have to ask, like, in your opinion, Randy's throwing knife.
Yes.
Why can't we throw it?
I'm gonna say because guns weren't made to be thrown; they were made to be shot.
Says who?
Well, everybody. Oh God, what movie was it? Actually, I just saw an episode of The Blacklist where a thrown gun was used very, very well. Yeah, somebody was trapped in this case, and like they shot, and it was bulletproof glass, so it didn't break it. And then he was like, he was out of ammo, so he just threw the gun, and it broke the glass.
That's pretty effective.
And let the person escape. Yeah, but like, I hope that part of fixing the future or fixing the timeline in the new season is going back in time, finding Randy, kicking him in the nuts, and just taking his gun, because I want to save future Guardians from ever having to deal with this ever again. I can honestly say, and I know I'm trying to censor myself, fuck Randy. Like, that's all I've got.
Oh, that's a clip.
It's honestly, it's possibly the worst quest I have ever played in any game.
Oh, like, my god. Oh man. See, I agree 100%. I spent a considerable amount of time, and I say considerable very lightly. It was a lot of time off stream, off hours, grinding it out, and I got it last weekend, and I was so excited. I'm like, holy shit, I see everybody using this gun. It looks so cool. And then I go to use it, and I'm just like, wow, this is actually kind of not worth it.
I got it last night. I used it. I think I went back into Crucible just to test it, just to see. if I was better, it would be awesome. But
Yeah.
I'm a scrub, right? I'm a step above potatoes, right? I'm like cheap bottom shelf vodka. That's all I am. I'm not quite a potato, but I have not yet like gotten up to Belvedere status. I'm like Smirnoff, maybe. No, I'm more like Popoff. Like I'm that cheap brand liquor that you can afford because you took your bottles back. So like a slightly evolved potato.
Yeah, Vile, that's
and
exactly,
like I was
that's
getting
exactly why I
kills
want to
with
get
it,
mine done.
and like Johnny uses it all the time when we do like 920 and 950 nightfalls, and even when we've done nightmare hunts, that's his primary. Like that's just what he uses, because just to take out the thrall and the acolyte, it fires so fast and so accurately. You know, you can chew through PvE stuff, which is what pisses me off, that quest is such a grind PvP, and it's once again better in PvE than it is PvP.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, and I mean, you saw me. I think it was Saturday into Sunday. I just bit the bullet and went and got my exit strategy.
Okay.
Honestly, if Recluse gets nerfed, I think that might become the replacement.
Green Pariah was saying that today too. My every waking moment won my heart right now. I don't even use Recluse unless, like, when I went in off stream and tried to like solo, quote unquote, the dungeon just to see how difficult it would be.
Yeah.
And after my first failed attempt, I was like, yeah, I'm going to use Recluse.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So like things like that. But my every waking moment with Demolitionist is it's Demolitionist and I think Feeding Frenzy. That thing's friggin' amazing, man. I love that. Getting grenades back every 6 or 7 kills.
That sounds incredible. Feeding Frenzy Demolitionist?
I can't remember. Hold on.
Still, though, that's like incredible.
No, it's Outlaw. I think it's Outlaw. Yeah, it's Outlaw Demolition.
That's still like crazy.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, it's nowhere near. It is as good as Recluse before you get Master of Arms.
Oh,
like
man.
procced. It's people are sleeping on some of these weapons. Like you mentioned the Vex offensive weapons, man. That subjunctive SMG is damn nice too.
Yeah. I got an Outlaw Swashbuckler with it last night. So
okay.
might give that a little test today. See what happens with it.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I get a bounty for art kills, I've got an Arc Logic with Demolitionist that I really, really like. And so I'm really, really with Oppressive Darkness, I am so in that Demolitionist grenade like form right now. That's all I go for because it's just so damn good.
Oh, yeah. And like Vile even said in chat, exit strategy right now, it feels like a balanced Recluse. Like,
oh wow,
that's how it feels. It comes with the 2 sets of perks. I think it's like Threat Detector and something else. I forget what the other one was. And then it's like Swashbuckler and Surrounded, and you can mix and match them. So like it's like the blue black armory frames. How they drop with like 2 perks in each thing. So, I really like the I think it's Threat Detector Swashbuckler, because it's like no matter like if you were doing something like say altars, your reload speed is capped out. Like, and the impact on it is nice. You can throw anti-barrier on it, and it's pretty much a balanced Recluse. The only other gun that I think, like, at least for like end game stuff, that I would rather have in that slot obviously Izanagi.
Right.
Because right now Izanagi is just absolutely wrecking when it comes to like raids and like taking down nightmares quickly. Whatever it might be. Yeah,
but I mean, if you toss that, I mean, I'm going to be honest. The best time that we had doing the 980 nightmare hunts.
Yeah.
I wasn't even using Izanagi's, and what was the primary I was using? I can't remember. I was using. I've got a another Loud Lullaby with Demolitionist and Drop Mag. I can't remember the talent, but that handgun is freaking amazing.
Oh, I love that. I love that handgun, dude. Like,
oh, it's awesome. So I was using
crazy.
That. It's absolutely insane. So I was using that for like mid to pseudo long range in that kinetic slot. and I was rocking my what is it, the 1-2 punch shotgun that I got out of Reckoning. I was using that as my energy so that when the nightmares came towards me, because they're solar, it's solar, boom, one shot, pop their shield, and now you just whittle them down with whatever else. It was awesome. So I'm terrible with Izanagis, so there's just that too.
Thanks for the follow, Katana. Welcome to the cult.
I do hope that with the new season, I'm really, really, really hoping that they make up for this mistake of not including all of the weapons in it, or at least their plan all along maybe was to use that as the buffer band-aid for when they nerf Recluse, to be like, well, you know what, this season it's scouts and pulses and snipers and grenade launchers instead of SMGs and auto rifles and hand cannons. I hope to God that's the case.
I really do. I genuinely do too. It's one of those things where it's kind of just like, you know, and I mean, I talked to Chaos a couple weeks ago about this, Worlds of Chaos, and we were talking about, you know, just meta weapons and how, like, ridiculous they can be from time to time. And it's like, you know, do they need nerfed? And I'm like, yes, they kind of do.
Which ones?
Recluse being the biggest.
Oh, okay.
Recluse being the biggest. I mean, luckily, though, just to kind of give that buffer, like you said, we have weapons that are kind of comparable and still different. Mm-hmm. That's able to kind of keep up with it to begin with, which is nice. But
and they
there was that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say they don't have to do anything crazy with it, man. Just drop Master of Arms down to 50% bonus, and like, bam, nailed it. Like, it's still better than most. It doesn't make it insane, and it allows a window to use other weapons because, you know, it's still, to this day, I get so frustrated when I look at people doing speed clears and blah, blah, and Izanagi's is definitely up there, but it's, you know, Mountaintop Recluse, Mountaintop Recluse, Mountaintop Recluse. Like, that's still the go-to be-all, end-all of legendary loadouts. And in this day and age when, you know, they thought legendaries were too strong, it's like, oh, man, I'd love to use but that's something Lono's gone on and on and on about how the exotics need the artifact mod slot, and until they do that, it's just the exotics are still just kind of the little redheaded stepchild that are you know, they're just getting beat in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. But moving on, like, you know, before we kind of wrap this bad boy up, earlier on Twitter I asked some people to give me some ridiculous questions to ask you.
Oh, yeah, man. Gauging by your laughter, I hope these are good.
So, first one is from Zay Warduo on Twitter. And,
man, say that name 5 times
he said,
fast.
Ask him which Steven he'd like to have on his theoretical dodgeball team. A, King. B, Curry. C, Colbert. D, Hawking. So which is it, bud?
Okay, so wait, which Steven do I want on my theoretical dodgeball king? Stephen King? Stephen Curry? Is that who he's talking about, the basketball player? Okay, so Stephen Curry, Stephen Colbert, and Stephen Hawking. Man, okay, Stephen King cannot dodge cars, so I do not want him dodging balls. Hopefully that's not too soon. I don't know. Stephen Curry, no, he's too big of an ego for like a small regional dodgeball like group. I don't think he's going to mesh well with a team. He's either going to show everybody else up or he's going to tank everything and make it all about him. So
Globo Gym rules.
So that he can go back to, like, you know, doing whatever the hell pro NBA players do without me making assumptions about strippers or coke. So there's that. Who are the Stephen Colbert and Stephen Hawking? God damn, that's a tough choice. Stephen Hawking, man, he would come up with some great strats. I feel like he would be an amazing on the floor general for like 4 seconds, but then he's just gonna be out. And honestly, I don't want him to get hurt. And you know what? It's gonna be Stephen Colbert, because win, lose, or draw, he's gonna make it entertaining as hell. He seems like a relatively spry guy.
That's fair. That's a fair assumption. I get that. I get that vibe from him too.
yeah, ultimately, I think it's more about having fun.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, Stephen Colbert wins.
Nice. That was a really good one. It was actually a very wholesome response, and I'm kind of proud of you for that.
That was a cool question. I like that question. I can't say the dude's name, but thank you.
Yeah, Zaywar Duo.
Well, considering one of them's dead, Jack in my chat was like, well,
your chat's having a good time with that one.
Right.
Okay, so we got one from a good buddy of mine. Jared is bored.
Okay.
Would you rather have tiny dicks for fingers or giant dicks toes?
Okay. Tiny dicks for fingers or dick toes?
Yes.
So that would be essentially 10 dicks on my hands or fingers. Are these operational, fully functional penises?
That has not been specified, so let's just assume so.
Okay. See, that actually changes it. See, if they weren't fully operational, I would go with the fingers because they would be easier to move and they wouldn't get in the way. I mean, you kind of have dicks for fingers now, right? You just don't pee or come out of them. But if they're fully operational, I think I would go with the toes because then I could at least cover them with socks. And if I have any nocturnal emissions or involuntary or premature emissions, it would just be absorbed by socks.
That's fair. I mean, that's kind of typical Friday night anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be at McDonald's really, really excited about my fries or my McRib, which is back now, right? And then end up spooging all over the table with my fingers. Like, that would just be bad. It also means you have 20 testicles.
That's also a fair
22, technically.
statement. So, I got one more question, and it's from your buddy Girl Sergeant.
Uh-oh.
He told me to ask you why you think warlocks are the best class.
They're not. Flat out, they're not. I was misquoted. I will go to my grave saying that they were misquoted, or that I was misquoted. Warlocks, unfortunately, they've been given so many tools because they're so goddamn weak. They have to have. I mean, they're given the easiest floaty jump, and it sucks. They're given all of this healing and all of this damage and everything else because they're useless without it. So yeah, they're not. There is a quote in a clip of me saying it taken completely out of context. Fake news.
Well, I'm gonna log into Destiny and delete my warlock now.
I know you're a warlock main.
Warlock main since D1. I'm totally okay.
I know. Not everybody's perfect, man. Everybody can be wrong, and you just have to admit, you just have to kind of come face to face with your failures to move past them. Gale in chat is also Warlock main, and he's like, wrong.
Wrong.
Just give me the Trump wrong. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Warlocks, my only issue with Warlocks, to be honest, is that goddamn jump that for some reason, and it is, I've seen it time and time again do an Outbreak heroic, and Imp is always the first one through because he's on a Warlock and he can just hit his button and just glide to wherever the F he's going, and I get on Warlock and it's like I'm tripping over air rocks. Like I don't know what it is about it, but I can't do it.
Honestly, there's a flow to it. There is a flow to it, and that's coming from me, aka Mr. Warlock main since D1 Alpha. I think the only reason that I've gotten a firm grasp on the Warlock jump is the fact that I literally have just been playing Warlock since 2014.
Yeah,
that's probably why.
That would do it. Yeah.
It just comes in practice because you put me on a hunter and I'm just a potato. If I'm being honest, like you put me on a hunter and I'm a total potato. Titan, I'm better with the Titan because like it feels like the Warlock jump just a lot more controlled.
Okay,
which is my personal take on it because I mean I have all three characters that I run constantly for stuff, and I hate and I absolutely loathe putting my hunter on. Someone asks me, hey, yeah, you want to go run this raid with us? And I'm like, well, I've already done that raid on my Warlock and my Titan. And they're like, oh, well, then bring your hunter. And then I just give out this giant sigh of, do I really have to?
Hunter is weird for me because I've mained Hunter because, and honestly, when I first got Destiny, I didn't know anything about anything. And when I was looking at the class items, I was like, okay, so this one gets a dick towel, this one gets an armband, and this one gets this kick-ass cloak. Like, I don't need to clean up jizz. I'm not a Nazi, so I'm going to wear the kick-ass cloak, right?
Fair,
like, that's
fair.
honestly why I picked Hunter. They looked cooler. And I feel I am more effective on Hunter because I'm more used to the rhythm of dodging and invis and like all of the tools that they have. Same thing what you said with Warlock. But I'm going to be honest, every time I jump on my Titan, I feel like I'm home. Like I
am a total Warlock main, so I
Titan
totally get
play
you.
Style is perfect for me, right? They've got the beastly melee, which is actually my most frustrating thing in Crucible, is that their regular melee one-shots always Hunters.
Pretty much.
Don't. They've got the shoulder charge with aim assist that all you have to do is sprint and hit your shoulder button, and you're going to kill anything in front of you at seemingly ridiculous ranges. The only Hunter version of that is this one that you have to slide and then melee at the end of your slide, but you literally have to be in their
Han, I'm getting on immediately after this.
And if you miss it on Hunter, you lose your melee ability, whereas on Titan, you can just use it to fly around fast and change your direction in midair, because if you use it and miss, you don't lose it.
Yeah.
So, like, Titan, I love Titan. I really, really, really do love Titan.
Yeah, I've recently liked playing Titan more. I mean, I just had Double Aaron 23 on Twitter actually do up a little art piece for my Titan, because I made him look like the Black Knight, basically.
Oh, I saw that. It looks awesome. I saw that artwork.
That Skelligal shader from Festival this year is just top notch. Top notch. Highly recommended. If it comes in the Eververse store, like, go at it.
Is that the one you get for doing the toothbrush quest?
That might actually be. Okay,
because I'm gonna do that today before we go into the dungeon. That was my plan, was to jump in there, or Gambit.
Yeah, definitely. That shader, man, it's top notch. It's just a really cool all around, like, black and like bronze.
Oh, I didn't even see the bronze in it. What's it called?
It's called Skelligal. Gaul.
Oh man, actually, I think I've got that.
Yeah, it's Skelligal, and it's like this weird, like, black with like bronze accents. Yeah, Skelligal is from Eververse. That's what Vile's saying. I think it was available for Bright Dust last week, and I think that's why I got it, just so I had it in collections.
Oh yeah, I do have it. That's not the one I was thinking of. Oh yeah, it is, like, kind of like a kind of like a dull gold or bronze. Yeah. There's one that you get from the from doing the Raisins quest, and the shader that you get is like Oakland Raiders black and silver. Like black. It's awesome.
I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, because I finished that. I should have that one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, Skelligal's pretty dope.
Yeah, I like it. That's my, like, go-to right now. And then the Gambit, I think it's Gambit Celadon, is one of the ones you get from doing the Gambit stuff, and I just naturally got it from playing all the Gambit for Exit Strategy.
Yeah.
I'm running that on my Warlock right now. Excuse me, and it's pretty cool. It's like a darker emerald.
Yeah,
with like like really weird rocky looking accents to it. So I have like a void lock running a Skull of Dire Ahamkara, and it just looks so sick. It looks so sick with the Eververse ornament from Season of Drifter.
That sounds sweet.
It's pretty sweet looking. It's like my character looks like, it's like I look very like Shadows of Yori.
I don't know what that is.
Basically like the dude, like it looks like I should be holding Thorn. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
It looks very like Hy-Vee.
Yeah, if green was one of my more favorite colors, I just got that one last night, and I was like, oh, that is pretty damn slick. But
yeah.
I can't seem to get away from my red, black, white fetish, and I was super pissed because I finally got Warbrick. randomly, and I was pissed because when I came back a month before the end of it was about 6 or 7 weeks before it was actually, I know it was exactly 7 weeks before the end of the last season. Imperium popped into the chat and he was like, dude, you got to check out this shader Bloody Tooth. It's right up your alley.
Yeah.
It's a Crucible shader. And so I look and I was like, oh, I got to do this whole quest for Crucible. I don't want to fucking do that. And it wasn't until the end of that season that I looked, and you only needed to do something for like 8 weeks in Crucible. I think you needed to do the weekly bounty for like 8 weeks throughout the season.
Yeah.
And I had already accidentally done it 6. Or no, I had done it 5, and there was only 2 weeks left in the season. So I was like, I literally can't get this shader now. And it taunts me because it's in my collections. I can look at it. I just looked at it. Yeah.
The story of how Janko didn't get Bloody Tooth.
Oh, I'm so upset.
Oh, man.
Because Destiny is like my favorite part of Destiny.
Dude, Destiny's the best. I've been having so much fun with it. Like, especially with the Levante prize. Like the emblem for the fashion contest crap.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
So I know you wanted to wrap it up, but really quick, since we just got into Destiny.
Yeah, go ahead.
This quick question, and I'll put it out for both chats. What do you think, and this could lead into a bigger discussion, so if you want to hold it for another time.
No, go ahead. Fire away.
Do you think that Destiny should, the developers should put all of the old armor as ornaments? So like if you go back and you do Leviathan and you beat an encounter and you get the armor, that you get an armor piece, but you also unlock that ornament.
I would like that. My trade-off with it, I would say maybe equipping it should cost something. Like in-game currency. If that makes sense.
Each time you equip or unequip it?
Yeah, like similar to how the armor slots work. Maybe like, 500 glimmer or something like that.
Man. See, that kind of makes me a little more flaccid, only because I've been so glimmer poor this entire season.
So have I. Don't even feel bad, man. I think I've lit like 9,000 right now, and I feel like I should have more given everything I'm doing, but I don't.
Yeah, I bring it up because like I spent some time a couple weeks ago and I went back to get some vault or some forge armor, because the forge armor and Scourge of the Past armor is my favorite armor on Hunter in the entire game from launch. And so I went into the forges to try to get legs, a chest, and arms, because those were the 3 pieces I really, really wanted. And I got, I think, a total of 3 to 5 pieces, and not one piece had more than 52 points on it. Like, it was just awful.
Yeah.
And it was pointless, and it was wasted time. And I was like, wait, if all of this armor is going to do that, what's the point? We're not going back to grind for it anyway. And then on top of that, then you have to deal with the element affinity on top of it. Just put it in there as elements. Like, let us go back, let us grind it. We still grind it. It takes time. We're engaging with the content, and then let us get it. And if you want to redo it somehow in the future to repurpose it, then repurpose it as useful armor with a higher point ceiling floor or something like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Vile says, I feel as though the uniqueness in armor you see people have would go way down, but at the same time, it would be really nice.
See, I actually think it would go way up, because you would have so many more people that would have so many more ornaments that there could be so many more different combinations.
I agree, because I mean, I look at my Titan and I look at my Hunter, and I don't have like anything unlocked on them, because I didn't really build up my Hunter and Titan until Forsaken came out. Like, I just always had my Warlock, and that was it.
Yeah.
And that was a mistake that I had made in like my, I wouldn't say infancy, because I'd played Destiny 1, but in like the early days of D2 vanilla.
Yeah.
Like, that was a mistake that I made. Like, I played it all the way through and I was like, I don't feel like playing this again on my Hunter and Titan, when in reality it wasn't that hard. You know?
Right.
I leveled my Titan up from the beginning of the game all the way up to the end of Forsaken, base Forsaken, in a day.
Okay.
Just power leveling, just min-maxing everything.
Yeah.
At the time, because I mean, New Light has pretty much eliminated that altogether. But
Sure.
you know, that was something like it took me like a day, and I kind of kicked myself in the ass because it's like, well, I could have been playing on these other characters this entire time, getting all of these other Eververse armor sets. But guess what? Now, if I want them, I can just buy them with real money.
Yep.
So that was something that kind of put a damper on me. Like, I think me and Cold Death got into a conversation about this on Twitter a couple weeks ago, where we were both like, when they said like, hey, yeah, there was going to be old Eververse sets, or there's going to be Eververse sets available for purchase in the Eververse store, you know, without getting too deep into an Eververse conversation, because that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But just the fact that I feel like a lot of the community was under the impression that, you know, we would have like all of these armor sets like in the store, even if it's not just all at once, but like a new armor set each week from the past seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we would be able to pick and choose and buy pieces of it with Bright Dust whenever we wanted during that week. Not just through the little like Bright Dust store, and have one random piece of armor be available per week.
Okay. So what you're talking about is kind of go in. Somebody else had suggested that, like actually go in, and I think Lono had actually suggested that on all exotics that have ornaments also, is be able to go in, and when you go to the appearance tab, you'd be able to see, and it would be grayed out all of the pieces you don't have.
Yeah.
And then be able to just instantly purchase it from there instead of having to go to the store or having to have it be on a schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be completely honest, and I know Eververse is another massive discussion in and of itself.
Yeah.
But that choice, I wish Bungie would do it, and I don't know why they haven't.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they don't push the store in your face. Like they did put it in the one menu now where we can look at it
which
anywhere,
is cool.
which honestly I thought was dope, because every Tuesday I just loaded into the tower to check out Eververse anyway, so now I don't have to do that step. But there are old ornaments I know of for armor that like I just never got, or I didn't have the Bright Dust or whatever, that like now I could go back and buy, and like that would be super, super cool. And I'd just be able to see what I'm missing. Like I don't know if there's something for this or whatever that I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of just, and it's just the fact that, you know, they told us, yeah, you'd be able to buy these pieces for Bright Dust, but, you know, well, okay, that's cool, but like I can only buy the legs from this armor set this week.
Yep.
And if I want to buy that separately, guess what? If it's not that week, I can't do it. I have to buy the entire set with it for Bright Dust or silver.
Yep. Well, and that's the worst part too, is because then you either have to buy the whole set, which is ridiculous, which is where that Eververse price, or
that's
where that
that for me is like, that was my other part of the conversation. Like, silver prices need lowered.
Oh, they're absurd.
They need lowered, and that's just period.
Yep, it's absolutely absurd. I mean, I actually went. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was right after Shadowkeep launched, and I was like, "Oh yeah, dude, there's extra finishers. There's these 3 finishers, and they were, I think, what I'm going to them right now. I think it was 2,400. Or it was 2,100 to get the Undying Finishers bundle. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in, and I went and I dumped $20, and I got my 2,300 silver, and then I went to buy them, and I was like, wait, am I really about to spend $20 essentially on 3 finishers that I really kind of only like one, but I don't want to buy one for 800 if I can buy all 3 for 21. I'm like, that's not going to happen. And so I still haven't spent, like, I still have the silver, and I'm just not going to buy them at this point.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy.
And another thing, like, I had even mentioned was, like, as a consumer, I am more, if they're going to, like, I am more inclined to purchase more from the Eververse store if that $20 is going to get me more than just, like, 2 pieces of armor or 2, like, you know, sparrows. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, if I could get more bang for my buck, I'm more willing to spend.
100%. The Division 1 did the same thing. I remember there being emotes that I wanted that essentially were like $7 or $8 a piece. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I'd buy 5 of these if they were $5 a piece, but because they're 7 or 8, I'm not buying one. There were individual outfit pieces. Like, I remember doing the math. I can't remember if it was the cleaners or the GTF. or not the JTF, the LMB. There was one full outfit in the division that to buy the entire outfit was $12. And I remember thinking, that's $12. This entire last expansion was 20.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Like the entire, like that just one outfit for $12. And I know they've made this point on the Rageless Roundtable multiple times when they were talking about Eververse is like, you know, if you look at the skeleton outfits and you buy them for silver, it's friggin' 1,500 silver, which is what, like $15, $16, something like that.
Yeah.
For one outfit, the entire season pass is $10.
Yeah, exactly. And that was another thing. Like, look at all the I think them getting rid of engrams for events was kind of an issue. I would much rather have a chance of getting something from this Festival of the Lost if it was like a Festival of the Lost engram, or engram or whatever, rather than just going to the store and buying it.
Yeah.
Like, and even then, like, okay, well, if you tally up everything that is in the Eververse store currently for Festival of the Lost that you probably don't have because it's all new stuff, you're spending a lot of money, like more than both Forsaken and Shadowkeep goes for retail right now.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
It's kind of ridiculous. So I'm hoping that's something that they address. And, you know, given Bungie and how well they've been, like, speaking, like, how well they've been listening to their fans and listening to the community, I have no doubt that they're probably looking at a way to make that happen.
I hope so, and I tend to agree. I think that they've been doing really, really well, and this was a big pivot. And I think they need to pivot back just a little bit. And honestly, I would have no problem if they put every single item that they've ever put into Eververse for sale at any time. And you could go buy it for silver at any time, but then keep the rotation for Bright Dust every now and then. And then like up how much Bright Dust you can get. I can't remember if it was Cacus or somebody else that did a video about Eververse that, like, in order to get just that Halloween outfit, you have to grind like 7.5 weeks to bounties in order to buy it for Bright Dust.
Yeah. It's just crazy, but
yeah,
you know, that's Eververse right now, and that was kind of just the last little topic I wanted to touch on. Now I know we're going a little bit over, which I expected, because you and I, we can talk for hours with each other.
Yeah, I can talk for hours by myself. You add it in somebody else awesome into the mix, and it should just go
becomes hell of a convo. But so you might have seen Han Brolo. What's the funniest Destiny 2 screen name you've came into contact with? I don't know if you're going to really have one because that's more or less a PC thing. But
I do. No.
Go ahead.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, can I get?
It might have been Leonardo DiCaprio. I've got a screenshot of it somewhere. I've got. I just took another one. There was one yesterday that I saw. That was Lesbian Seagull, but it was spelled Lezbien Seagull. Yeah, I've got a bunch of people's names, just random names that I've found that I try to take screenshots every time I see them. But yeah, in Destiny, it was Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was a Destiny 1 name. And then my favorite I ever saw in the Division was in the Division 1, Tom Cruise Mom Shoes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, he was also a streamer, and I didn't know it at the time. But yeah, I ended up meeting him, and we were on the same stream team for a while.
Cool. That's really cool. But yeah, man, just finally wrapping it up. I appreciate you, like, spending time with me today on this. It's awesome. You know?
Dude, I appreciate the opportunity. I've been, Johnny and I had done the Division debrief, and we were trying to pivot into, do something like this because I enjoy this so much. I like talking just about whatever I'm into at the moment or whatever's big or big news, whatever. I love it, and I don't get as much time to do it when I'm streaming because like I'm playing, and especially Destiny 2, it's one of the reasons why Destiny 2 is really difficult for me to stream, because I have the most fun when I'm playing with other people, but I'm not as good of a streamer when I'm playing with other people, because then I'm distracted and we're talking, we're entertaining because we're funny, but like I'm not creating the content I want to create when I'm in a group. It's very difficult for me. So I love this opportunity. I would fucking do podcasts every day of the week. If I could get on a different one every week, that's all I would do.
Heck yeah, and man. I love the energy. You know, you've always got a place here. And also, if you guys are trying to get a garden run done, hit me up and I'll pop back over on PlayStation and help you out. I'm on my like 8th clear.
Will do. Yeah, we're looking at trying to get a regular group going some day of the week. We're going to talk about it tonight with like Imp and Jinkies. We're trying to get a set 6 and figure out what day of the week we can do it, where we can start early enough to get it done every week. And then once we get it really, really good, then we can do that and Sins or Crown in a week, or that and Crown and Scourge or whatever, right? And just have a raid night where we can plow out a bunch and hopefully get better as a group, so that that way when the next raid comes out, we can go in day one with that contest modifier and be better. Because I just think group synergy with all of us never playing before together was like our biggest issue.
I agree. And, you know, I joined Violent Horizon, which they're, you know, a couple of those guys have gotten, you know, really far on day one raids. And so, like, I joined up with that with Ty McMuffin. And, you know, he's kind of become my like raid mentor. Okay. And he's kind of he has literally beaten tough love into me, but we're at a point where with Garden, we go in there and our synergy is so precise that it's like our fastest completion we're sitting at now is probably about an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's pretty nice that like we have that opportunity, and I've kind of dialed it back a bit because I don't want to kill the satisfaction of the raid, because I'm kind of like, I like the raid, but I don't want to overdo it to the point where it's like I hate this.
Sure, no, I get that. We went through, like, I hadn't stepped foot back into the raid until this past weekend, I think, and I went in with James Works, the streamer. Johnny kind of knows him, and so he wasn't streaming, but like he took us through it, and we did the whole Divinity quest. We got up to the boss, and then we just beat our dicks into a wall for, you know, an hour and a half, and we couldn't get past it, and it was 3:00 in the morning, and it was like, you know, Johnny had been up for 24 hours. We started everybody was making stupid mistakes, you know, and it just sucked, because for a good hour, 20 minutes of that final room, we would have moments where like Johnny and I were absolute studs for 20 minutes and never made a mistake, but somebody else did. And then there would be moments where everybody else was fantastic, but, you know, I pull a Janko and jump off a friggin' cliff. You know, it just stupid shit happened. We had him down to probably a bee's dick of health at one point and moving into damage phase. Johnny died to Vex Milk because we weren't repairing, and so he died on my way to the Titan bubble to get the buff. I ended up getting capped by Cyclops, because whoever was on Cyclops duty didn't take out the Cyclops because we were going for damage. And then it just all fell apart, and it's just, you know, at 3:00 in the morning, you just gotta call it. So
I haven't been back.
Do you know, super quick, do you know if you have already done all the puzzles for Divinity on one run and you go back in and finish the raid, do you get Divinity, or do you have to do the puzzles on the same run that you get the clear?
Yeah, you're probably not going to like this answer.
No, I'm assuming you have to do the whole thing.
You have to do the whole thing again and then complete it all in one run.
I figured, but I've heard differing things based on like different people I've talked to. Some people have said no, some people have said yes. So I was just curious.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's possible, and I don't think we've actually like had to test it, so to speak. But I'm wondering if maybe like after you complete the 6th one and you get to the boss, like the final boss, I'm wondering if it counts after that point. Like maybe you have to get all the puzzles done in one run, and then as long as you beat it before reset. Or something.
I don't know, cause I doubt it because of the way the quest is structured.
Yeah,
like you don't get the
weird
little check boxes.
It's kind of strange, but you know, I've done it. You know, I've done pretty much every role in that raid now. So I'm pretty well versed in it. So if you guys ever want to give it another shot, just hit me up, and I'd be more than happy to help if I'm able to.
Will do. I will definitely get a hold of you, man.
Yeah, of course, dude. But once again,
Cool.
I appreciate you stopping by.
Man, I appreciate you having me. And seriously, anytime, dude, let me know. And if I can, I would do this again.
Heck yeah, man. Definitely will. Definitely will. So I think that just about concludes episode 2 of Sin Talks. That was IamJanko. Go follow that man over on Twitch. Follow him on Twitter. And give him kisses for me. All right, guys. So I'm going to take a quick little fiver. I need to go to the